So in this lecture, we'll be looking at distinguishing between a policy, a standard, a guideline, a procedure, and a plan. What's important in this lecture is to identify different policy elements. It's key class for us to understand what the terms mean and how they apply. So we need to know the proper information regarding each element of the policy and how to use plain language. So you have to think about who's reading this policy. Now, in terms of the policy elements, we need to know something about what the objectives of the policy are. There should be a statement of purpose, a statement of exceptions where the policy does not apply, the statements themselves, of course, and any other supporting documents. Right? So I've provided you a list of important terms you should know for this particular lecture and for the remainder of the course, actually. So standards in policy language refers to or dictate specific minimum requirements in our policy. So this could be, for example, a standard for password security, let's say. You want upper and lower case as well as an exclamation mark, let's say. Baselines establish the implementation standards and security controls for grouping. You've got guidelines, procedures, and plans. So these are very specific meanings in policy verbiage. And it's really important that you understand the differences between them, right? Oftentimes there is miscommunication that exists between business units in a company precisely because the terms aren't well defined. So as you said about writing your policies, you need to be understanding something of the policy audience. Now, not all people within your organization will be IT professionals, so you have to be very careful around this. And then you develop a policy style and format. Right? So there are different approaches to establishing a policy framework. You can have singular policies, which is what we'll be doing for your project. You can also have consolidated policies. You can put everything in one place. There's advantages and disadvantages from both approaches. With the singular approach, you have a discrete policy for a particular purpose. That can get unwieldy over time. With a consolidated document, you can have a very large document, but it can be difficult to search through and find what you need. So in most policies, there will be components that comprise of the policy document, which you need to be careful of in establishing the structure of your policy document. So there'll be something around the version control. Policies go through various iterations over the course of their life cycle. So you need to know something about, you need to establish what version you're working from. There'll be an introduction, a heading, what the statement of the policy goals and objective, and then a policy statement itself. Exceptions to the policy, how the policy will be enforced if employees, for example, don't follow the policy, what are the consequences of that. Administrative notations refer to external information that's related to the policy, and then the statement of definitions, how to define terms. This is a basic structure that you'll find in most policy documents. So a lot of the work has been done in establishing an IT security framework for us. Over time, it's been built up by people that work in the field, and it's helpful because it provides you with a lot of guidance, many things you won't think of when you are establishing or assisting a company. And so having a framework and knowing how to apply and manipulate or amend that framework to tailor it to the specific purposes you require is extremely important. There is guidance on what's required, what could be done, what should be done. There can be certifications, let's say, to a particular standard or a certification authority. And then there are assurances, so that are not necessarily enforceable in the same way. So the information security, cybersecurity, and privacy protection is found in the ISO standard. And this establishes a number of different security domains. And they control the security infrastructure internally within the company, that is inward, and outward, so externally facing. Right? So inward would refer to your employees and stakeholders, somebody that's kind of connected already legally to your company. And then outward will concentrate on things like third parties. Oftentimes, companies are using third parties for to provide various services, and you need to have some standardization on how they will interact and interface with your security infrastructure. There are 11 security domains which we'll examine in our course, and they map pretty closely to our course outline. In fact, you'll notice that. Right? So I'll let you read them now, and we'll go over them more in class. It's a key way you should, by the end of this course, be pretty familiar with the various security domains, how they apply, what they are, and how to construct your own policies for a given company. Thanks very much, and I will see you in the next class.